Welcome to the business interview. I'm Marcus Carlson. The war in Syria, violence in Iraq, and the standoff between Israeli. Welcome to the business interview. I'm Marcus Carlson. The war in Syria, violence in Iraq, and the standoff between Israelis and Palestinians. The Middle East makes international headlines on an almost daily basis, and it can be difficult to get to grips with and understand the region's complexities. In today's program, we're asking where that leaves businesses in the Middle East. To talk more about it, we can turn to Dr. Talal Abu-Ghazaleh. He's the founder and chairman of a professional services group that bears his name. The Talal Abu-Ghazaleh organization is active in everything from accounting and management to web design and intellectual property. It has 80 offices worldwide, but operates in particular in the Middle East. Dr. Talal, welcome to the program. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now, we are seeing, as I said in the lead-in, we are seeing a range of different conflicts across the Middle East. Has that influenced your business, affected your business?
If we want to define it by the rate of growth in revenue and by the profitability, the answer is no. Since this turbulence started 3 years ago, we have been sustaining and maintaining the same rate of growth in our revenues and in our profitability. Why? Because we have adjusted our strategies to the events, because we have to remember that even in war, there is need for certain services. And since we are a service organization, we decided to tailor our services to the needs of the epoch. And that covers everything from education. There is a need now for online education for the refugees. And we are now involved with all the UN agencies in providing and delivering education to refugees online.
But what do other business leaders tell you across the region? Do they share your pretty optimistic sentiment, nonetheless?
No, I must say that I must say that the leaders, and I fully understand, because they have to deal with the problems. I don't have to deal with the problems. I deal with the impact of the problems.
The opportunities as well.
That's different. It's different. You know, it's a different perspective. I always believe that there is an opportunity to do something under the worst circumstances. The leader is not interested in that. Normally, the leader has a crisis, and he has to manage it, and he has to think about addressing the problems that result of that crisis. In my case, I look at, because we have structured our organization to be completely ICT based, in fact more than that, we are a global digital organization. Now we have our own tag cloud, computer cloud, which we constructed ourselves. It's not on Google or on Yahoo. It's our own Talal Abu-Ghazaleh cloud. So we are operating everywhere in the world in our 80 offices online. And therefore, we're not disrupted in our business. Also, we diversified. We diversified by activity or sector and by geography. And we also looked at what are the needs, not just the opportunities.
Where do you see those opportunities? If we look at the Middle East as a region, in what countries do you see the opportunities at the moment?
I was in Doha yesterday addressing the Chamber of Commerce on the same issue. And it's coincidental that 30 years ago I spoke in Doha, exactly 30 years ago, about the blessings of a recession. The country and the world was going into a recession 30 years ago. You remember that as an expert. That recession had its own blessings. And I don't want to go into that, but I want to reflect it now into what we're talking about. This war had its blessings. It teaches us lessons. It creates new models and new methods of doing things, which creates new opportunities. We almost know that countries develop their war technologies during war. The military industry, which basically was the source of most of the development of technology, was started due to wars. There are definitely positive and negative, and as I have always maintained, look at the oil price. The oil price today at 80, and maybe it falls up to 70. It's bad news for Russia, but it's good news for the Arab world. You can ask me about the oil-producing countries in the Arab world. It's bad news in the fact that the revenues are cut down, but they can make that up through the cash reserves, the sovereign funds that they have to to balance their budgets so they don't have a crisis. But the countries like Jordan, etc., this is great news.
But you say that change is essentially a good thing. If we look at the Middle East, though, change seems to be coming very much in dribs and drabs, and it seems to be going very, very slowly. Since the Arab uprisings back in 2011, economic growth has been quite slow, very slow, if we look at the region as a whole. What kind of time frame are we looking at here in terms of change? When do you think that we can actually start seeing some change further down the line?
I think in the year 2015 will be the transition year. As of 2016, we will be looking at a completely different picture.
In what way?
First, in having a reasonable resolution of all the turbulences. 2015, we will witness resolutions to the turbulences in the region.